Do you like blowing stuff up? ABRISS is a physics-based puzzle game where you build to destroy. Build up whatever you think you can with the parts that are given to you, and then set it off and see if that creation gets it done. You build up, and then you destroy. Then you do it again. You build up all these crazy contraptions, and then you destroy. The main goal is to blow up all the red orbs in the level. And the game gives you all kinds of different configurations of these red orbs. What also matters is your building platform. You can only build on that little yellow square. For this one, I was able to craft something ridiculous with those thrusters and like a bike chain. And put it all together, and it spins around in a circle. I didn't get all the red orbs. I had to redo that level. In this one, I have to build up a little rocket with thrusters. The game keeps giving you interesting new pieces to test out. Of course, I wish there were more pieces to use, but the game does have a significant amount of them to create your contraptions. This includes thrusters, as I'm doing here, which can be controlled independently of each other. And look, they're even on swirling mechanisms, movable mechanisms that spin in a circle, so I control them to move them down first into the position I want them to be in, and then I thrust the machine up. It doesn't always go as planned, which is fun. So you can spin the things you connect together, which are blocks and longer blocks, and there are the chain links, there are thrusters, there are guns. And probably more importantly, there are connector blocks that when are attached to two things, won't let them break apart. So you can either use this to lock on to the base platform or keep two pieces together as they fall forward. Unlike other puzzle games, ABRISS is really focused on experimentation. I think sometimes puzzle games get a little weird when the developer has a pre-planned solution for the design that you have to construct yourself then to complete the puzzle. And I'm pretty sure there is more than one way to solve almost every single level in this game. For example, here I am building a trebuchet. It's not a secret or a surprise what's happening here because the level's named trebuchet, and there are examples of what you're supposed to build right next to the place you're building, which just gives away way too much to the player if you're trying to get them to think outside the box and build a trebuchet. It spoils the fun a little, but I guess it would be difficult to come up with the trebuchet on your own if you didn't have some example work here. Maybe. I think people that play this game might enjoy figuring it out themselves. Anyway, here's an example of me failing my first attempt at the trebuchet to launch the bomb towards where I needed to go. Because of this failure, my brain went to a place where the bomb just wasn't staying on the trebuchet long enough. That wasn't the case, but I went down this whole rabbit hole of building side panels on it to hold the bomb in there longer, but then it just stayed in there so long that it got flung down instead of across. When of course the problem is either the weight on the end, the amount of weight, or where the lever position, the rotation's happening. But it was genuinely fun to figure this out on my own. One thing you do have to be cautious of in ABRISS is the camera. It's not bad. In fact, there are two different modes. I'll get to that. But you do have to be careful when you're looking at it that the perspective is what you expect. You are placing these blocks, and from this angle, it looks like everything's going on pretty straight. When you click, you can drag the block around a little to move where you want it to be. And as you see, when this topples over, I only hit the furthest section away from the camera area. And I was like, what happened here? This is so confusing. I thought I was building up this straight thing. Little did I know, I had it entirely curved all the way to the left. That's pretty interesting. And here is an example of the free moving camera. You can move it wherever you want to. So there's no problem getting into the tight spots to see where everything's going to be and make sure that your contraption or construction lines up perfectly. Now, I wanted to show you a list of the current content in the game, which is quite extensive. During the early access period, they plan to add even more levels, up to 49 instead of these 35, including 2 more worlds, which they expect will take them about a year's worth of time. And I already think that there's a lot of levels to play with here, and they even included this sandbox mode, which has a bunch of different targets for you to knock down. There's different places you can put the build ground positions, you can watch it in slow-mo, you can turn on and off the gravity. It's a perfectly acceptable sandbox mode, but I wouldn't say it's the easiest to use and doesn't give you the most freedom. You really are limited to the options on the right side of the screen, although it does give you all of the build options available. If you are seeing the slowdowns, don't worry, I'm seeing that too. ABRISS definitely has performance problems. Sandbox is the easiest place to see these problems manifest, but even recording the game was a struggle. Most games I have no trouble recording, but even for this one, I'm using whatever NVIDIA calls their capture straight from the video card, which should have zero impact on performance. This game just does not run well. And even that, you can see the game struggled to render. I even tried lower resolutions, turning on potato mode. I tried all the settings. Don't worry. I'm pretty sure this game just has a performance issue, and I think it's the biggest thing holding it back. They really are going to have to clean up and fix these performance issues before launch. Overall, ABRISS is unique, and I enjoyed playing it, even though it's a puzzle game. The trial and error really works here to give you a builder's mentality, and even when you don't solve it in the way the developer probably expects, it's still a way to solve it, and it's fun. I'm not sure about adding more levels. I mean, more levels is always good, but more mechanics and building blocks, that could go a long way as well. I really hope whatever happens, there are performance options that I can enable to make it actually run well. I don't have a bad computer. I don't have a potato, but I mean, it's not top tier either, but I kind of expect this game to run. I guess we'll see what happens during their early access period, and I hope to check it out when it's complete. That's the end of the video. You can subscribe, click like if you liked, and that would be great. Dislike doesn't do anything. Don't even bother clicking that. And remember to enjoy whatever indie game you're playing now.